Yeah. Keys to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know you really viewing greatness in the making. Double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, topics, stipulations, first down, played it. Presenting topics for Kanye to Tom Brady. Facts, keys to the city, we unlocking the statements.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. Week 2 of preseason. Great show we have for you today. Talking NFL once again. And we'll have Joe back in studio to talk the New York Yankees. Are the Yankees, those Bombers, relying too much on that offense to win games now? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the MLB crunch time for these teams vying for a playoff team, for contention. The Phillies, the Mets, all this. It's coming down to the wire. We're in August. It's crunch time, baby. It's crunch time for baseball, too, as well. We'll talk about all that. But we have to start off with the NFL. And week 2 of preseason, the New York Giants. What to expect tonight in the Windy City. Oh, no, they're home, actually, against the Bears. Now, we're going to get into the Mara comments. And this whole week, I've seen people saying, what the hell? Why is he saying stuff like this? You got to be kidding me. Stephen A. Smith reacted to it, freaking out. Look, this is what was going to happen. Everybody thinks now that every time you draft a rookie quarterback in the first 5 or 10 picks, or even the first round now, we have to feel that they have to be immediate starters or should be playing within the first couple weeks.
Well, that's been the reason the last couple years.
We've seen that. But you don't have to do everything else. It's like a couple weeks ago when I said about the whole Baker Mayfield thing. And you have to be this sort of, you have to have these procedures to be a franchise quarterback now. You have to have this checkbox of, he has to be calm, cool, and collected. He has to be smooth. He has to walk in professional. He has to be this. And I talked about it with Baker Mayfield being completely different and changing that narrative of franchise quarterback. Well, the Giants, yes, they drafted Daniel Jones 6th, and we expect him to do great things. We're all hoping as Giant fans. But what was Mara supposed to say? He should be starting immediately. I know that you took him first, and everybody thinks all of a sudden that he has to be the quarterback. If Eli Manning gives you the best chance to win, and most fans in the NFL, including Giant fans, feel that Eli Manning is not the best way to go. It's Daniel Jones. So Mara saying that, and it's gotten a lot of backlash. What do you expect?
Here's the exact quote, and I'll quote John Mara. He said, "I hope Eli has a great year and Daniel never sees the field. That would be an ideal world. We would like to see that." In his mind, that would mean the Giants and Manning are having a great year. And that's true.
Yes.
Because if Manning is going to play 16 games, that means the Giants are having a good year. And I had this conversation with a friend of ours at the gym, and he goes, what you feeling on what John Mara said in Eli and Daniel Jones? And I said, truthfully, this is how I honestly feel. Now, I want the Giants to make the playoffs and win the Super Bowl. We joked about this the other night.
We do it all, yeah. Of course.
I'm a Giant fan. What do you want me to say? Do you want me to say, I hope they go 2-14 and they have a top 3 pick next year and we build our future? If you're a Giant fan or a fan of any sports team, and I know this is not a subject, but it was brought up to...
Oh, you're going off topic right now?
No, but it was brought up on another radio show. Is tanking good for sports?
Okay.
And I would say no, because if you're a true fan, how can you really sit through a season? Imagine being a Baltimore Orioles fan, okay? And I know we're talking football, but imagine being an Orioles fan. How could you sit through an entire baseball season and really root for your team? Like, you would have no interest. Like, think about it. If you're playing the Yankees, you just lost 16 straight games. Now, in a football perspective, Eli Manning is the quarterback for this football team.
Yeah.
John Mara has to say the right thing, and the right thing is we hope Eli is going to play 16 games because, one, he's going to be healthy, and that means the Giants are doing well. Now, realistic goal for me as a Giant fan, it comes about week 13, week 14, and the Giants are out of the playoffs by then. And that is when Daniel Jones would play week 15, 16, and 17.
I think
that's a realistic goal for the Giants.
I think the worst possible outcome for the New York Giants for that whole situation, this whole controversy, if there is actually the word controversy right now, because I think most fans nowadays and most people in the NFL around the league believe that there is no quarterback controversy, even though people think there should be. We all know that Eli Manning will be the quarterback day one, starting September 8th against Dallas. It's going to happen.
Because Daniel Jones, there would be no way he would be ready September 8th against the Cowboys. It's not realistic.
The worst possible outcome, I didn't even say it, is Giants start off 1-3, 1-4, 1-5.
0-5,
0-4, 0-4. They lose their first 4 games. And then they're 1-5 or something like that. That's probably the worst possible outcome for this New York Giant franchise, because they want Daniel Jones. They want to groom him. They want to take the time. And we've been hearing it. Dave Gettleman said it back in the draft process. The Kansas City model. We all remember the Kansas City.
Green Bay did it with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers.
Years. We all remember the Kansas City model. That will never happen anymore.
Of course not.
That will never happen again. 3 years for a quarterback, that's a lot of time waiting. But Patrick Mahomes played only 1 game his rookie year.
Yes, but Alex Smith at the time, would you say,
right.
was a better quarterback than Eli where he is at his stage in this?
I think the team as a whole was better than
Absolutely.
the Giants. That's why he didn't have to start a rookie quarterback. They were a better team than the Giants' current roster.
Here's my thing. If you're really a Giant fan, do you really want Eli to fail? Like, here's my thing. If Eli's failing, the team is failing.
I think there's people still out there that think they want to see Daniel Jones fail.
Listen.
It's not even Eli. They want to see Daniel Jones fail.
Like we've seen last
I
week.
mean, what kind of fans are you nowadays to say that? Like, you're a Giant fan. If you're a Giant fan, or you're any fan of a sports team, you want what's best for the team, and you root for that team till the day you die. The problem is nowadays, we don't have that anymore.
We root for players.
We don't have loyalty anymore. In the NBA, you have players. You don't have teams anymore. In the NFL, you have players more now than you ever did.
But people are fans of teams.
People are still fans of teams, but yet there's always bashing. There's always negativity. You live and die by your team.
But I can live with that because I bash Eli. But I bash Eli.
And I bash the Daniel Jones pick.
But I bash Eli when I see him play poor. But that's what fans do.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to see Eli. I want to see Eli go 20 for 20 for 200-something yards and 2 touchdowns. How could I not want that? I want the best for my team. I want the Giants to win.
Yes.
Now, I also have to be realistic in my expectations for the New York Giants. Okay? People are like, you bash Mara. Now, he said the right thing in this perspective. You kept him for this year. If you did not want Eli to be the quarterback this year to play all 16 games, Eli would not be on the roster. Listen, it's kind of like what the Cardinals did. They got rid of Sam Bradford. I know of injuries and all the other, but they would have kept Sam Bradford and said, you know what, we'll start Sam Bradford for a couple weeks, see how he does, and then we'll move Kyler Murray in.
think this is
like the Browns did when they brought in Tyrod Taylor. They tried to have him start as many games as possible, see where the season went, and then they would bring in Baker Mayfield.
I think the smartest thing for teams to do nowadays when drafting a hopeful franchise quarterback.
Do you want the guy? Oh, sorry.
Drafting a franchise I'll get to you in a sec. Drafting a franchise quarterback, I think, is the Kansas City model. You have him a year, or you have him come in that quarterback the last, like Ted said, week 13, 14, when your team's not contending for playoff. You bring him in then. That's fine. Some of these quarterbacks, like a Sam Darnold, which we'll talk about in a couple minutes.
Do you like that model, though? The way Sam Darnold and the Jets handled, where they picked him and he started day
when
one?
Sam Darnold got drafted, Sam Darnold was the best quarterback on that roster. When Baker Mayfield got drafted, I thought Baker Mayfield was the best quarterback on that roster. Josh Allen went to the Bills. The Bills didn't have a quarterback.
Nathan Peterman was their quarterback.
Josh Allen was their best option. Josh Rosen
was not the best quarterback.
Sam Bradford, if you want to go that way, Lamar Jackson was not the best option. That's what I'm saying. If you feel that a guy like Sam Darnold is ready, you put him in because he looks like he has all
Alex
those
Smith
attributes.
Was the best quarterback.
Patrick Mahomes was not ready yet. Daniel Jones is not ready to come in day one. Now, I know he looked good last week, but that was against the 2s and 3s, and we're going in the right direction. That's where we are currently in the Giants organization. We're going in the right direction. We have a plan with Daniel Jones, but you do not start him week 1. You want to let him groom. You want to let him soak it all up and just get the experience from practice, from Eli, the coaches. That's what you want to do. That's why I think, to me, personally, the best model for when a franchise quarterback is the Kansas City model, unless
I think that's the ideal. That's the ideal situation if you have a veteran.
Unless you have the Sam Darnold that comes in and he's already looking like he's a star in the making.
And I'll make this quick. If you're the Jets, you did the right thing because he was the best quarterback on your roster. And you got to start.
Baker Mayfield should have started probably week 1.
I think the ideal situation for every NFL team is to have that veteran presence or a guy that he's got 1 or 2 years left.
And the Giants have that.
You start him week 1 because here's the thing: any rookie. It doesn't matter what position, running back, receiver, is going to be overwhelmed week 1 of a regular season. The hype, the hoop. I mean, you and me are excited for September 8th just for the regular season.
I can't wait, man. Football, okay? Giants, Dallas. I can't wait.
Now imagine you're the starting quarterback of the New York Giants, and you're going to go to Dallas at 4:25 on Fox. You're going to have 5 to 10 million people, and probably more, watching that game, okay? Mm-hmm. The pressure of all that outside stuff, plus of what you have to do for the game, is going to be overwhelming. So the best thing to do is watch Eli, see how he performs, learn the process, learn the nature, the routine, coming in the morning, going through the game routine, and seeing that. And if the Giants are by a week 11, week 12, after that bye week, if they're not in a position to make the playoffs, that's when you make the move for Daniel Jones, because by then he's got into the rhythm of the season.
I think people need to just slow their roll, like Pat Shermer said last week. Slow your roll on everything. Relax. It's going to happen. Daniel Jones will sooner or later.
Jones should not start because then why is he? Somebody wrote Jones should start. Jones should not start because Eli's on the roster. If Jones was going to start, then they should have cut Eli. And that. Because
Jones shouldn't start. He should.
I know, but what are you going to start? You're going to start Eli on the bench for $22 million a year. Sorry.
That's a that's a wasted contract.
When you make that,
then keep Daniel Jones, Laletta, and then Tanny. That's your quarterbacks. Then if you really want to do that, start that instead of keeping Eli.
Then you should have traded or cut Eli in March when you had to.
Yes.
You start him now. He learns from a veteran guy, and then you move on for him when Eli either gets hurt or the Giants are out of the playoffs. That's what you do. That's the smart thing to do. Listen, Trev, you said it perfectly. The Jets had no better option. Sam Darnold was more ready and more prepared and was more talented.
They would have made a bad decision if Sam Darnold was not starting.
And think about it. Everyone who knows the Jets team said the best thing that happened to Sam Darnold last year was when he got hurt in the midseason and he was able to sit behind Josh McCown and learn.
Well, he had a lot of great moments. I mean, he had the pick set. But when he's learned.
I know.
He's grown up.
But when he came back from injury, he was the best quarterback by quarterback rating the last 4 weeks this season over any quarterback in the entire football league. And it was because he got hurt and he was able to learn and reevaluate what worked for him.
This is about, for Daniel Jones, the growth, the development, and that's it. The progress in the right direction. Like I stated
next 15 years, that's what it's about.
Last week. It's not about starting September 8th. We're not trying to get Daniel Jones September 8th starting. We want him to learn. We want him to just take each and every day as a learning challenge for him to get better. And that's the thing. What better way to learn than learn it from a guy that's won 2 Super Bowls? I know the guy's on the teeter going downhill. We all know that. He's digressing. But he's got the two hardest things to do in the NFL now. And he's done it twice. He's won a Super Bowl. And that's what it's all about now as a quarterback. Eli's done that. No matter what you want to say, Eli has 2 Super Bowls. Let the kid learn. We are Keys to the City. Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. If you don't get a chance to watch today's show, we'll be on YouTube. You can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon.
You could also call in.
You could call in as well. Call-ins are welcome as well. I know we got Jet fans, we got Giant fans, so if you want to call, I know people like to talk.
You can talk about another team.
Because we see it on social media. If you want to talk, give us a call. Give us a call and give us your take as well. Tonight, it's all about my whole take on this Giants right now is about tonight, and it's all about Eli. It's all about Eli. It's not about Daniel Jones. It's about Eli Manning, seeing if he can throw the ball, if he can play smart, if he could actually try to manage to gain some yards. Not like last week. We want Eli to go in the right direction as well and play subpar, play decent. That's what we're looking for. Yes, because anything is better than where he's at. We need him to play.
Trev, I don't want subpar. Play good.
We need him to play something better than he was last week. This is about Eli Manning tonight. It's not about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is going to continue to grow. It's about Eli now. The pressure's on. That's one of the questions that should be coming into down the road. Which quarterback faces more pressure, Dak Prescott or Eli Manning? Because of Giants-Dallas. Yeah, see, you think it's obvious. You think it's obvious.
No, you're not going to get mad at me. But I don't think Eli has any pressure. He's got nothing to prove.
Well, we'll talk. It's not right. No, it's not about right now.
I know, but
if
he plays like crap, everyone that says, all right, go play Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones plays. That's why you took him at number 6. And it's going to make all the naysayers that said, you should have cut Eli 2 years ago.
If Dak plays like crap, then Dallas is screwed.
See, my question would have been Dak and Wentz, and we've talked about that.
Wentz
has got the contract, and Wentz's team got the Super Bowl.
We've already talked about
No one thinks the Giants are going to be good, so there's no pressure.
Speaking of New York, and I know there's a bunch of Giant fans still out there that are upset that this man is not our quarterback. It's all right. We all move on from it. You got to get over it sometime. I don't know whenever, but sometimes you just got to get over things. Sam Darnold. He's on the way to stardom. I know Jet fans are excited. I mean, every time we listen to Adam Shine get up, it seems like Jet fans and people that love Sam Darnold are very excited because this kid is on the verge. This kid is on the verge of maybe being something great, something that the Jets have been missing for 50 years.
Something that we saw 3 years ago in the Rose Bowl against Penn State.
Barkley and Darnold were the two showcase stars of that game.
To think about those two guys in that game, and then they both ended up being the second and third pick, and they both went to the 2 New York teams.
I know.
It's fascinating.
It's amazing.
Darnold looked great last night. He was 5 for 7.
He's looked great,
46 yards. He marched the team again on the first drive, down for a touchdown. You know, What's great to see so far is he's been moving the ball efficiently, and the Jets have had injuries on the offensive line so far. They're not the puzzle has not been put together yet, and Le'Veon Bell, their number one ace in the hole, has not been on the field yet. So you would expect that when he is on the field and when the linemen all come together and everything is ready September 8th, they will be ready to rock.
Yeah,
and this kid,
I mean, if you're a Jet fan, you're excited because you had glimpses of Mark Sanchez, Chad Pennington, but let's be realistic, folks.
Why are we even bringing those names up?
Can I get to my point?
I'm going to.
Can I get to my?
Building off the last 4 games of last season when he was the best quarterback.
Hold on.
The Jets fans ain't holding on.
They should. They're nervous because they haven't had any fun. They haven't had any luck since 1969.
There's no nervousness.
There's Mark excitement. Sanchez. There was glimpse of Mark Sanchez being possibly a good quarterback. Even Chad Pennington.
Put me to sleep.
But now, whatever. Go to sleep. That's fine. Take a nap. I'm the one that needs some sleep, damn it. Now Jet fans have something to be ecstatic about. Mark, you got Sam Darnold. Is he on the verge of stardom? And that's what Jet fans want to know. Is Sam Darnold going to take to the next tier this year? Is he going that next level?
Can I tell you why I said put me to sleep? Because when you talk about Chad Pennington and Mark Sanchez, they're not even in the same category as Darnold. They're not.
Chad, I was just saying quarterbacks that you were hoping for Jet fans.
I know.
Sanchez went to 2 NFC championships.
Yeah, because of the defense.
It doesn't matter. He still got there. You got to play quarterback somehow. You got to throw the ball.
I know he beat Brady in New England.
You got to throw the ball.
He beat Peyton Manning.
It doesn't matter.
I know.
That's what I'm trying to say, that Jet fans have had high moments, very short moments, but now with Sam Darnold, you look like you're going to have memories, and for a long, lasting time. 10, 12, 15
that is
years,
why they
hopefully.
moved up from 6-3 with the Colts to go get this kid. And this is the reason why every person last year, except for, a couple people, very few, thought the Giants should have taken Sam Darnold at number 2 because of what this guy's potential was going to be. Listen, you and me liked him at number 1. Now, we also felt, though, when we looked at it and reevaluated, that we thought that Baker Mayfield would fit the Cleveland mantra better, and that Sam Darnold's personality and the way he perceived the game and the way his personality was a better fit for New York. Quiet, more laid back, but he had a little flash to him. Southern Cowboy.
I'm getting ridiculed right now on Facebook. getting ridiculed because I'm not comparing Mark Sanchez. You guys think that I'm not comparing. I'm just saying Jet fans have had moments that you've seen. Maybe you had opportunities to, hey, maybe this is our guy, Mark Sanchez, Chad Pennington. You traded up for Mark Sanchez, Chad Pennington.
Chad Pennington was good. He just had the injury.
It never panned out. Now I'm saying Sam Darnold. Now you have something to be ecstatic about.
Let's put it this way.
You're surrounding him.
Sam Darnold has the potential to be the greatest Jet quarterback
and that's
ever.
what I'm trying to say. I'm not comparing them. Sam Darnold will be better than both of them put together. But since 1969, I don't think Jet fans have been happy. And finally, they have a quarterback that they can rally behind and say, that's our guy for the next 10 to 12, 15 years, and looks like he's going to be a superstar. So I'm not trying to compare Mark Sanchez to Sam Darnold because I never, ever stated that once. You can watch the show later on if you want to try to say that I did. I've never said to compare Mark Sanchez to Sam Darnold. I was just saying there's been moments for Jet fans that they've been happy, but broken hearts in the end. This doesn't seem like broken hearts in the end. This seems like gold. You got the golden ticket now. You're Charlie that got the golden ticket. You're finally going to Willy Wonka. You got your quarterback, and you look like you're going to be going to the promised land, maybe down the road. Don't know if it's going to happen this year. Maybe down the road. You have your guy now.
I don't see the Jets as
that's what I'm trying to say.
Playoff team right now, but I think, and you said it perfectly, you got to look at the positivity. For the first time in a long time as a Jets fan, Sanchez showed potential.
Yeah.
Okay, but it just did. But we both thought that he should have came back another year at USC after one season.
Yes.
Sam Darnold was the youngest quarterback ever to start an NFL game last year, and he looked like a rookie.
The year he played in the Rose Bowl, he probably could have played in the NFL that year.
Now his first pass was pick 6. Okay, whatever.
And he ended up winning by 30.
Now he played poorly. Then he got hurt. He sat. He learned. And like I said before in the first segment when we were talking about quarterbacks and rookie quarterbacks in the Giants, it's the last 4 games of the season. He had the best QBR of any quarterback in the entire football season. I remember watching him in that Texans game. Remember, we were watching it at home. We had some family over watching.
Oh, yeah. It was Saturday night football. Really love those Saturday night football games.
And they lost.
Yeah, you had DeAndre and Deshaun Watson. Big games.
Big game.
Yeah, you had both fantasy.
But Darnold looked good.
Yes.
And the team didn't have
They didn't have any stars around them.
Quincy Enunwa, who had the neck injury, did not play last year.
They didn't have any stars.
They didn't have Le'Veon Bell, so they didn't have anyone. And he was showing flashes of
greatness.
That's
all I'm trying to say.
Now, as a Jets fan, now that you have Jamison Crowder, now that you got Robbie Anderson, the kid Enunwa, now you have your Le'Veon Bell, the guy that was one time the best running back in football.
We all thought he was the best.
You got some pieces on the offensive line. And I think what you got to really be happy about is Adam Gase.
The trickiest part is about this offensive line. They're dealing with a lot of injuries right now, so you got to keep an eye on that as well.
That's
a nerve-wracking thing because
for any team though.
If you have bad offensive lines and you have a franchise quarterback,
but the future
that's the only thing that can ruin this kid.
But there's a light at the tunnel, at the end of the tunnel for the Jets fans and Sam Darnold. And the potential is no more potential. You're seeing it on the football field.
The only way that this kid's career goes downhill is if this offensive line never does pan out and they continuously deal with the injuries.
You got to protect him.
You have to protect him. Franchise quarterback. The word is franchise quarterback. It's all about him. Your team will go only as far as your quarterback can do. And that's what he's going to do. And if you surround him with the right pieces, which they started already, check that off the box. Now you get the offensive line. The kid has got special written all over it. Stardom written all over it. Now I know Giant fans still to this day are upset because most fans still wish they had him. I'm happy with Barkley. I'm happy with
and I'm a Giant fan, but I root for the Jets too when I need to. You got to like where the Jets are headed. Jamal Adams.
Wait, you root for the Jets?
If the Jets were in the Super Bowl and the Giants weren't, I'd root for the Jets.
This is news to me.
Well, I got friends and family that are Jets fans.
This is news to me.
Well, if it was the Jets Dallas, who are you rooting for, Trev?
Oh, well, you already know.
Jets, Eagles, who you rooting for? Jets.
Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
No, all I'm saying is you got to like where the Jets are headed. You know, you get Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
You got maybe
They're going in the right
Maybe you
direction.
got the best player in the draft in Quentin Williams this year. You got Leonard Williams. You got Jamal Adams. You looking if you're building a team through this, you got a quarterback.
Yep.
You got a running back. You got a safety. You got C.J. Mosley in free agency. You got the two Williams boys. You got pieces up the middle of this team. Now, if Tremaine Johnson, who they paid last year, $72 million from the Rams, if he can look like a top cornerback,
Like he did like he played a couple years ago.
think about it. Now, all three levels, you would have a star. You'd have a star number one corner. You'd have a star safety and Jamal Adams. And don't forget, they had the kid May, who was a third-round pick out of Florida, who was a good player. Now, he's been hurt. You got the two D linemen. You got pieces. You have pieces to be successful. Are you going to be able to push New England to the brink and maybe take over that division?
Well, pretty much Ted just said, if you hear that, if you're a Jet fan and you listen to all of that, then you got to be excited. And it goes through Sam Darnold. The Jets' future is on Sam Darnold. Of
course.
On the shoulder, the arm of Sam Darnold.
That's every
And,
team.
yes,
That's
is true.
every team.
So if you're a Jet fan, be excited because you might be on the verge of a star. And you've been waiting for it for 50 years. Speaking of the rookie quarterbacks, didn't we say last week it's preseason? It happens up and downs. Kyler Murray had a bad game last night. Dwayne Haskins
Look better.
it looked better. We don't know what Daniel Jones is going to do tonight. It's preseason. They're rookie quarterbacks. That's what's going to happen. So let's not get all. Don't worry, we won't go crazy. Maybe we won't get as much backlash. We can only hope Daniel Jones plays well again. But
But if he doesn't,
it's preseason.
it's okay.
And that's it.
I just want to
and
see
that's what
that
happens.
he the same things he did last week he does. That if he needs to, he takes the check down. Doesn't force the ball. Doesn't take any big hits.
Make the right decision. That's what it's all about. Making the correct decision as a quarterback. That's what it comes down to. Speaking, do you want? Let's close it out with this.
Yeah.
The
I mean, we
All
can
right,
talk
so
about we can talk about whatever you want.
I mean, we could talk football forever. I know. I mean, this is our sport.
I mean,
we love
Kyler
football.
Murray last night. If you want to at least talk about that for 2 seconds, I watched the game.
Yeah.
He didn't look sharp. But if you watched the game, not as a fan, but understood it from a football perspective, you would say his line didn't block for him last night.
Oh, so it happens. Oh, so that's what happens when you don't have a good offensive line. Oh, see, all these dual threat quarterbacks. If you have a quarterback that can run, I thought it was a piece of cake. I thought people said that before. It comes down to the NFL. I don't care how fast your quarterback is. If your offensive line sucks, your quarterback is going to struggle. And you saw it last night with Kyler Murray. Now, we're not saying the Raiders are like back in the day. Freaking.
Well, let's just put it this way.
They're not the Baltimore Ravens of 2000. They're not a defense that's going to come in and destroy you. But they came in and they took it to Arizona. I'm sorry, but anybody that continuously says, "Oh, even if you have a mobile quarterback, you'll be fine." You just saw it last night. Kyler Murray didn't look good last night. Struggled, overthrows, getting a safety, false starts. That's all because of pressure in a quarterback. And if your offensive line sucks, it doesn't matter how fast your quarterback is.
Let me just throw out a stat last year.
Last year or this year?
Stat from last year.
Okay.
The Cardinals gave up 22 sacks last year in the month of December.
Wow.
Tom Brady did not get sacked 22 times all season. Oh, now listen, I know they had Josh Rosen.
Is Tom Brady a dual threat quarterback?
He's the fastest quarterback in the league. Didn't you see him run this year?
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Listen,
I thought only dual threat quarterbacks don't get sacked.
This Cardinal team is going to struggle.
Wow.
This team is going to
we know.
struggle.
Yeah, we know that.
They have some nice pieces. They have David Johnson. They have Larry Fitz. They have Kyler Murray.
I think the Giants have the best line out of the three rookie quarterback, Dwayne Haskins and Kyler Murray.
Oh,
definitely. I think the Giants have the
Absolutely, especially when the Redskins are possibly going to lose their left tackle, Trent Williams. With that being said, he did not look good last night. And I expect that during the season. I expect him to have good games and bad games. I expect more poor performances, not by him, but by the team.
best. It's a learning experience. That's it. That's what it comes down to, preseason. There's going to be...
Now, Dwayne Haskins, on the other hand, had better protection last night. He made a beautiful touchdown throw.
That was
and
beauty.
if you go back to the highlight, there's two guys right in his face.
That's why people loved him.
And he stepped up in the pocket. He took the hit, but he threw the ball on the money.
That's why people love him.
So he showed the potential, and that's what the Redskins saw when they drafted him. They saw that potential. Now, the same thing I believe in the philosophy that we said before with Daniel Jones. He should not start week 1. He talent-wise, you'd probably go if this was like a kickball tournament. And our high school coach used to go, Ted, if you got you lined up,
Were you
with
always
someone
the first? Were you always the first pick?
No.
Wow, really?
Well, in what, football?
No, kickball.
No. Actually, Frankie was the lefty.
That's messed up.
He had the short porch.
That's messed up.
Yeah, I know. With that being said, I don't think Dwayne Haskins should start week 1. Should sit behind Case Keenum. Now you'd be like, Dwayne Haskins is more talented, Ted. Okay, that doesn't mean he should start. Mm-hmm. He's not ready to start. Neither is Daniel Jones. Kyler Murray has to start because there is no one better. Brett Hundley's not starting over him. That's the truth. So, go ahead. Nope.
No,
build off of that.
Look, that's what happens. That's what happens in preseason. Up and downs. It's gonna happen. So the other night, me and Ted were talking. And I know we did this a couple weeks ago with teams and a specific player in that division. Well, we were just looking through the league, and I was like, Ted, well, what are we thinking about people that face pressure? Who has the most pressure coming into this year? And go figure, it was 2 quarterbacks, as always, because it's a quarterback's league, and we live and die by the quarterback. And we both had different answers, so we picked 2 people. You went with the young guys, and I went with the
veteran guys.
The veteran guys, but the guys that have dealt with injuries.
And they're dealing with injuries right now.
Dealing with injuries currently and having issues. To me, yes, I know. I'm seeing right through the reflection. To me, my 2, very simple. It's Andrew Luck and it's Aaron Rodgers. The self-proclaimed best quarterback in the NFL. Dealing with issues. Having some sort of up and down relationship with Matt LaFleur currently right now. We'll see how that goes throughout the year. We'll be talking about it probably because Aaron Rodgers likes to spice things up a bit. But then Andrew Luck. These 2 quarterbacks. These are 2 of the best quarterbacks, top 5 quarterbacks in the game. And the reason why I say these 2, and I think it should be easy, Ted, and I'm surprised you didn't agree with me because of that factor, that these 2 quarterbacks have a lot to prove. Those 2 quarterbacks that you just said, good reasons. But Andrew Luck and Aaron Rodgers are 2 of the top 5 quarterbacks in maybe the NFL. And what have they shown recently? What have they won for you? What have they won for Colts fans? What have they won for Packer fans? They haven't won anything.
Well, Rodgers does have a Super Bowl.
Does, but that was 8 years ago. It's about they've been dealing with injuries. It's about, with Aaron Rodgers, it's about arguments, the dysfunction in the locker room with the head coach.
He's like a drama queen.
Yes.
He would be perfect for those MTV shows.
Andrew Luck, it's been about the injury, staying healthy, having the shoulder injury last year. This year, now Andrew Luck. That's what I'm trying to say. And a lot of people are high on the Colts team.
It was a calf.
And a lot of people.
It was a calf. Then it was a bone thing, and now Jim Irsay said it's a high ankle sprain. So what is it?
And a lot of people,
and I don't like that he's not practicing.
And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people have these 2 teams as possible teams that could go represent
in the Super Bowl
in their conference in the Super Bowl. Both teams dealing with different quarterbacks, dealing with different situations. He's got the dysfunction, the drama queen, and Aaron Rodgers. He needs to get over the hump. There's no more. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. If I hear another argument for Aaron Rodgers or an excuse for Aaron Rodgers, I'm done with it. I'm done with it.
He's also in a tough conference. Tough division.
And then Andrew Luck, if he could stay healthy, we know how great he is. We know how valuable he is. We know how valuable he is to the Colts.
Those 2 quarterbacks that you just chose are probably in the 2 toughest divisions in both conferences. The AFC South, first of all, the AFC South, any one of those 4 teams could win the division. Any one of those 4 teams. Do not give the Jaguars any respect is sleeping on them because they have a top defense. And now that they got their quarterback and Fournette and the linemen, they've drafted linemen. And then you got the Titans could win the division, the Colts, and we've seen what Houston could do.
So I went with the veterans, the 2 of the best in the game.
And then the NFC North, I was going to say the Bears and the Vikings are.
Well, who are you going with? Who's your 2 quarterbacks?
No, I just said the divisions of those quarterbacks.
Who's your 2 quarterbacks?
I told you who it was. It was Dak Prescott.
They don't know.
Yeah. They don't need to know. No.
They always need to know.
It's Dak Prescott. First, and Baker Mayfield. And the reason why I say that first, it's the Dallas Cowboys, okay? What I've heard on the radio for the last 2 weeks is Dallas Cowboy talk.
Oh, yeah.
It's nonstop Dak. It's nonstop Zeke.
What have I been saying? It's the brand, bro. It's the brand.
It's the number 1 franchise, money-wise value in any sports franchise in the world.
It's like the Lakers. Why do they always talk about the Lakers? Why do they always talk about those teams? Because it's the brand.
Now, the reason why I say that is because the question has been brought up the last week and a half. The thing was last week was Dak Prescott decline to $30 million, guaranteed option for annual per year, whatever it is. We don't know the exact details, but he denied that. He wants closer to 40. I don't think that's realistic. I think everyone has to close their eyes, refresh their brain, because that's not a realistic number. I think the realistic number should be, for me, it should be somewhere between 25 and 30. But he wants Wentz's money. He wants that $32 million, which I understand. You want to get max value for what you believe you're worth. You can go in and say, listen, I got playoff wins. I'm the second winningest quarterback in the NFL since I've entered the league. Our team has been in the playoffs 3 straight years. There's all positivity for Dak. But when we look at him from the outside, we're like, well, he can't do this, and he doesn't have that many 300-yard games, and if he doesn't have Zeke, he's not that good, and when Tyron Smith is not there, and he needs all these players to be good. True. But he still wins games, and you can't take that away from a quarterback. Mm-hmm. I don't care how you do it, but you got to win the games. Mm-hmm. There's very few quarterbacks in this league that you could say, you know what, I'm going to take Mahomes and put him on any team, and they're going to be a winning team. That's true. But how many Mahomeses are there in the league? How many Tom Brady's are there really in the league? Not many. There's maybe 5 realistic quarterbacks that you can take and put on any team, and they'll be successful.
And who was the other one?
Now, the other one is the second most hyped team in this league. And the reason why
Second?
I think so.
Who's the first?
I think it's Dallas.
No way.
Listen, the Dallas and the Browns, because
it's definitely the Browns.
Okay,
the Browns are the number 1 most hyped team in the NFL.
Maybe in your thought process, and that's only because they got Odell Beckham.
In most
Trev,
eyes,
Jerry
most
Jones,
people.
Dallas has got solid offensive line, solid quarterback, solid running back, solid receivers. They have a defensive line. They have 2 star linebackers. They have good secondary. All the pieces for Dallas to be a Super Bowl champion.
Every year because of their brand.
Listen.
But the Browns are the most hyped team because of all this pressure now. You make the trades.
Are you giving your point or am I giving my point?
I've been very silent.
The reason why I said Dallas.
I've been silent.
Well, thank God.
One of us has to do it, I guess.
Okay, the Browns haven't. But you agree with me. They both have won nothing.
Yes.
They have not won anything. They have not lived up to potential. Dallas hasn't won anything since 95. All right? Oh. Cleveland Browns, I can't tell you the last time they won. Oh, actually, I don't think they've ever won. Probably the last time they won is probably before the Super Bowl was even invented.
Wow.
And that's the true facts. That we're speaking the facts. Those 2 guys have to live up to the expectations. Baker has to prove that all the moves that they made are worth it, and Dak has to prove that if he is going to get paid before the season, he's worth that money. You got to live up to the expectation. And if he's not, and the Dallas Cowboys say, you know what, we're going to play him through the season, and we'll franchise him next year, and then we'll pay him the following year like the Redskins did, he has to prove that he's worth the money. Now, if I'm Dallas, I don't pay him.
Okay.
I let him play out the season. I franchise him next year for $27 million. See how he performs. You have control.
Yeah.
Why? This is a business thing. Why pay him the $32 million?
I hear you. I'm not disagreeing.
I'm just asking. That's how I would handle it.
Well, you got to figure it out soon enough, and you got to hope for Dallas' sake.
Well, he's not sitting out. He's not going to sit out.
No, he's not going to sit out, but you're hoping for Dallas' sake that they have their guy going forward. See, that's another team that's in question. Everybody wants to say Dak is the guy for Dallas. That's still in question. That's still up for debate. This is the biggest year of Dak's life because he has to come out, especially with all the ongoing situations with Zeke. He has to come out. He has to play. He has to be great. He has to prove to the Jones family and the Dallas organization.
This is just prove to himself and the team that he's worth the money.
I know, but in himself that he is worth the money. Of course, it's always quarterbacks that face the most pressure in the NFL.
Well, because you live and die by him.
Exactly. It's
a
quarterback-driven league.
When your quarterback, perfect example, and I'll end it on this. The Kansas City Chiefs. You had Alex Smith. He was a good quarterback. Go to sleep. I don't care. I can do the rest of the show without you. I don't need you. Joe's going to come on. We'll just have a great conversation. You can go take a nap. But I'll say the Chiefs, they were great. They were a good team. Yeah. When they were Alex Smith, and he was a good quarterback. Mm-hmm. They were a 10-6 team. They were a playoff team every year. But the difference is when you have Patrick Mahomes, you become a great team.
Exactly. That's what it's about. Ladies and gentlemen, we're taking a one-only break. When we come back, we'll be joined by the Joe Aguiar to talk New York Yankees baseball. What the hell's going on with Aaron Judge? And are the Yankees relying too much on this offense to win games now. We'll talk about that all with Joe. Keys to the City from All Noise Radio. We'll be right back, folks.
Clovercrest Media Group presents a CMG podcast.
Normal guys, they can't do things that we can do.
We love football. Football's in our blood. Football's in our life.
Yeah, we got to build a tradition.
Were you not listening to me? Do you not?
I'm never listening to you, bro.
We're not just a podcast. We're trying to help people out and do better things for the community as well.
Very simple. Go do your job and get the job done.
The guy that he swung out and struck out 150 times head, and stop swinging at the slider 5 feet up head. His stance is like this.
There's no other show like that. Two brothers, Keys to the City. What better name?
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. Before we get into the New York Yankees talk, the other night we saw your little documentary of the wiffle ball story, and I have to admit it was.
He didn't see it. I had to show him.
No, I haven't. I did not see it. I think I was at work or something. I finally got to see it, and when I saw it, I have to say I was cracking up. It was so funny. I just thought it was.
It was well put together.
It was hell of a job by our newly. We should probably give our intern Nate Gagne great job on that whole thing.
That kid is tremendous.
I can't wait.
He's just really
we had the
creative.
meeting with him yesterday.
He's gonna be a huge asset for Keys to the City. I'm very excited to bring him along next week.
He came down and worked the North Haven spring game with us. Did a great job. And then seeing your promo, I go, Trev, did you see?
How did that come about?
And I was like, this is great.
How did that come about?
He's a student at the University of New Haven,
Yeah.
and reached out through their internship program, and we brought him on, and. You know, again, what we're trying to do at Clovercrest Media is put people where they're best and show them off. And that's why you guys are a part of it. And you get a guy like him, he's multi-talented. And, you know, he's somebody who makes other people look really good. So
I like those people, the people that make other people look good. Right, Trev?
We bring in the biggest and the best. So
I don't look good. I don't look good right now. I don't look good right now.
But that's why we bring Joe on for our
We'll get some hair gel.
Because we were worried last week because me and Trevor really haven't done a baseball segment in such a long time without Joe. That's why we had to get him on because, you know.
I'm glad he got a little time away from vacation and got to still.
Did you have a good vacation? Everything was good?
I didn't go in the ocean. Sharks.
No, where were you? Block Island or
Cape Cod?
Oh, yeah.
They don't like guys like
See,
that.
that's why.
Got too much meat.
I'll tell you.
They don't like guys. They don't like guys like that.
I'll tell you the true fact.
Hilarious.
That's one of the reasons why I won't go to Cape Cod, because I won't be able to enjoy the ocean, because I love the ocean. And every other day you're looking in somewhere in that Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard. And I've been there. It's beautiful, but there's too much potential for sharks.
Not doing
Yeah.
it. Sorry. It's
Now,
not worth it.
now
It's
people
not
say,
worth it.
Ted, you go in the water
Not
in
worth
Florida.
it.
Yeah, I do go in the water in Florida, but I don't feel as much as I see great white sharks in Cape Cod.
I did go in a pond in the town of Mashpee. My uncle's got a place over there.
Poor pond. Pond was good for you.
Something
Pond was
bit
good
me
for
on the foot. I got like a 3-prong injury on the top of my foot. I don't know what it was,
It's
but
probably some like type of crab.
That would scare the hell out of me.
whatever it was,
That's we went in West Haven Beach last Saturday. I was freaking out because every time I put my foot down, I feel something. It wasn't like sand. I was like, oh my god. I freak out with that stuff. I'm not a big fan of that stuff.
So going off of that,
I'm kind of freaking out though.
about the Yankees last
No, not about last night because it's one game. Who cares?
No, I know.
I'm freaking out about Aaron Judge right now because he is struggling, Joe. And even when he was hitting home runs, me and Ted were talking about it. Joe, everything's been right field. It's nothing like his rookie year or his second year when he was hitting everything. Bam, bam, bam. What's going on with him?
The injury will not heal before next season.
That's what I'm saying. They should have never. I still think they brought him in too
here's
soon
the
for a
thing.
serious injury like that.
Everybody who's sitting there criticizing Giancarlo Stanton for sitting and getting healthy is pissed at Aaron Judge for playing through it and sucking. That's what Giancarlo would also be doing right now.
Yeah, Trev, you had the numbers before. He was batting like 158 since. So, Trev, you had the numbers.
Yeah, so
Just tell me, just for the audience, so they know how poorly he's playing.
He's played in 67 games this year.
Yep.
That right there is a concerning factor that he still can't stay healthy. And this is a guy that me and Ted were talking about.
I'm not paying him.
Not
paying him next year.
Are you hoping to pay him long term one of those big contracts, but he can't stay healthy?
He's had one good season.
Don't forget, he was 25 when he
Yeah, he
his
was
rookie
He was
year.
a late bloomer.
He was a late bloomer because literally from the get-go of his career, he's been injured. He's always been kind of injury prone.
So what do the Yankees do with a person like that when you have guys like
Well, look what they did with Hicks. You try to sign him to a long-term undervalued deal.
even Gary? I mean, Gary's dealt with the injuries throughout, and I mean he's been
but he
great.
comes
Don't
back.
get me.
He comes back quick, and he does what he does.
But
I mean,
isn't it
I have no problem with Sanchez.
It's not concerning?
It's groin. I mean, it's going to happen with any catcher. I don't think there's any way around it. You're not seeing a variety of injuries when it comes to Gary Sanchez. It's always in that same area, and it makes sense being a catcher. For Judge, it's a little bit different because it's been a variety of things for Aaron Judge, and he's a big man.
So this is what he did last night. He went 0 for 5 last night, 4 strikeouts. Over his last 21 games, he's batting 12 of 81, 4 doubles, 1 home run, and 4 RBIs. Oh, and he struck out 32 times and walked just 12 in that span.
Not
Do you
good.
think it's all due to the injury? Is that what you're insisting?
Well, it's either that or he's suddenly a horrible player, and I don't believe that's the case.
I don't think he's horrible, but I also
Do you think he should stay in the second spot?
No, well, again, I mean, right?
I think that he caught lightning in a bottle his rookie season. And
I don't think so. I think he's got the talent. I
don't think he's a consistent 50 home run guy. I think he has the power.
I mean, how many guys in the MLB now are we going to see consistent 50 home runs now? You're not going to see
if
it.
healthy, that would be a consistent 40 guy. The way he can go the opposite field, obviously, you can tell. Just think about the one good hit he had in the last week, the line double against Baltimore. It was the best swing he's taken in ages.
I just don't
you
like
can
that
see him not pulling the ball. He's
I just
just
don't
not
like
doing
that.
it.
I just don't understand why. First of all, I don't care. Like they used to say, A-Rod's his best power was to right center. Okay, but that doesn't mean you don't pull the ball. So something still has to be where he's not torquing
That's
enough.
why I wish that the oblique.
And
the oblique injury.
He doesn't look like the same guy. He's not seeing the ball. I watched the game last night. Saw all 4 strikeouts. He's not seeing the ball. There was a
Again, but
hanging
I'm
slider.
saying-
He just like literally in the old
Ted,
days.
the same
No, I know.
people who were complaining that Giancarlo is not in the lineup and is
I'm not
taking
complaining.
the time to heal are the same people criticizing the guy that's doing it. And they're the same people who forget last year Giancarlo was playing on one leg. That Shane Robinson got reps in right field because Giancarlo couldn't barely stand up. And he played every day, and he had better numbers last year than Bryce Harper did in
I
the
know.
big
But
categories.
I'm not-
yet still people complain.
I'm not complaining. People listen. I said right before the show. I said
I just want him to get healthy, and I think if that oblique is still bothering him.
Well, then he should. Trev,
should
they're not
never
playing. They're not playing him right now if he's injured.
What a nice replacement for Judge. If Stanton comes back healthy, you just put the same guy out there, but a little different.
But I said to Trev, I said, what are we going to talk about the Yankees? I said, realistic. I said, what are we going to nitpick things? Or we're going to be like, oh, they had a bad game last night. Listen, they got 3 out of 4. They lost to Boston. And I was like, oh my God, we're in trouble. And then they ran off 10 straight wins.
I think it would be more concerning, though, like I said to you, if they lost 3 or 4 at home to Cleveland, because they're at home.
I don't think it matters.
I think it is, because going to Boston is it's always Boston. It's Boston and has that mystique.
Oh, yeah.
It's just Boston as a whole.
It always feels like the playoffs.
Yes. Cleveland, if you lose 3 or 4, or even get swept and get beat down at home by Cleveland, that's
what I understand,
that's
because
something
this is more of a
that's something-
playoff series than that Baltimore.
because they don't lose at home.
Because Cleveland's the hottest team in baseball right now,
But
and
they
they
don't-
look like the team that we might be facing in the
they
first
don't
round.
they don't lose at home. The Yankees are dominant at home.
My concern about Cleveland is this, and we've seen this before. This team got off to
Peaking too early?
such a horrible start. Exactly that they're going to peak by September and start to peter out as you get in October. That's not where I want to get.
But
high.
if they get Kluber and Carrasco's supposed to be start pitching by the end of August. I don't know if you saw that.
I think
Kluber's going to be coming back. So you would assume, just this is an assumption, and like they say, what does assuming to make an ass out of you and me is. If those guys come back, they're gonna make that team better, and I think it's the same way we feel with
I
the
think
Yankees.
they're peaking at the right moment.
When we get
Too early.
When you get Severino and Betances back, and this is all assuming that everything goes right, and they're back by September 1st, and that Severino gets like 3 starts in, 3 to 4 innings, and like that's what we're gonna use him in the playoffs. They've already said they would use an opener in the playoffs. Cashman's already come out. They already said Domingo Germán is not going to have an innings limit
Thank
once
God.
the playoffs start. But I think realistically, it's what Joe has said since probably day one.
I saw Joe
Give
get
me
into
5 good innings.
I saw Joe getting into a serious
5 good
argument.
innings, and then have and then you just Green comes in for 1, Batanzas and you just layer it in after layer.
I want 3 innings from the starters.
No,
you give me.
Joe-
I'm not even joking.
Joe, it can't
give me one time through, and I'm telling you, because especially
5 innings, Joe.
Look, if you've got Severino
Joe, why
as a reliever,
I know, but why do you have a starter then? Why do you have a starter if you're going to ask for 3?
I just want to patch this together. The Yankees are 21-0 when Canely, Ottavino, Britton, and Chapman pitch. I want that combo every night.
You
I
got-
want
oh, you
I
can do
want
that.
7, 8, 9, 10. I need 3 from my starter. I'll throw Batanzas and 7 in there, 4 or 5. We just got to get through the 6th, and we're locking it down.
I mean, I can understand it. I just
Give me Greeny there.
I mean, I guess the other good thing is in the playoffs you have the day of rest too, so you get that extra day of rest. Where in the regular season they're playing every day.
Yes.
We've also seen the thing where it's like, all right, can we start Chad Green for the first inning and then bring Paxton in for the next 3 or 4 because he's awful in the first
He's
inning.
a Cy Young candidate from the 2nd inning on. It's
Second-
unbelievable.
Now,
2.93 ERA. No, Paxton. After the first inning, he's unbelievable.
I think the biggest thing is how they make their playoff roster because CeCe's going to come back. I assume Severino and Batanzas. So that's 2 more pitchers and things. So who's getting left off the roster? That's going to be the biggest question.
Luis Sessa. He'll be off the roster.
they can't leave- they
That's
can't-
what I'm saying.
No, that's obvious. But they just
Anybody who you're concerned about now
Hap.
is going to be a guy who's not going to be on that postseason roster.
Do you think
They're gonna
Hap?
I think Jay
Hap has
Happ-
been awful, bro.
They're gonna
Jay Happ-
take Hap off, a guy that they're paying $17 million.
Yes.
It's like cutting Eli.
They-
It's like
no,
what you
no,
just
no,
said about
no, it's
cutting
not.
Eli.
It would-
20
you know,
million.
that would be
you
CeCe.
might
That would be
see
CeCe.
Hap as left-handed specialist.
See, I could see them keeping CeCe because they trust CeCe for 2-3 innings over Hap.
Dude,
I-
he's
and
making
that's-
17 a year.
It doesn't. They don't matter.
It's the same thing you said with Eli. Why would you keep a guy on the bench or cut a guy that's 22 mil or leave him off?
because his
paying
ERA
him 17.
Because he's been garbage.
Look at everybody else's ERA.
I don't
It's
care.
not like we got 2.0 ERA guys.
No one does.
We got guys that are. There are guys that have that. But the Yankees all have 4,
So-
5, 4.8, 5.0.
So, Joe,
that's what I was going to ask
Oh,
you.
you
about.
asked the question because I was going to tell him something, but go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you are.
No, all I was
you
gonna-
on a roll.
You know how you were saying about the Judge thing and the Stanton thing, with the potential. What's that?
Somebody just asked you.
Go ahead.
Someone just asked me if the Cy Young Award was given out in the American League today, who would I give it to?
And you
Verlander.
I just wrote an article, and I made the case for Domingo Germán, but, okay, it is a statistical look at what Domingo Germán has done this year. I'm not saying he's better than Verlander. I'm not saying he's outpitched Verlander by any sabermetric stretch, but the numbers are a lot closer than I think people would think.
Don't you love that when you say stuff like that? You're like, oh yeah, Germán should win Cy Young. Oh, but he's not better than Verlander. Don't you love when people just always jump on that?
Yeah, but that's like anything.
Listen to
That's
this
like
real
saying,
quick.
I like Rodgers over Brady. You can make the argument just like Joe's going to right now.
Justin Verlander is 9-2 with a 2.54 ERA in 14 starts when Houston scores between 3 and 5 runs. He's 5-0 with a 3.91 ERA when they score 6 or more runs.
Which you would assume every in.
It's pitching to the scoreboard. That's what you do. If your team is up 8-0 in the third,
You play
I'm
loosely.
not-
You pitch loosely.
I'm pitching to contact now. Well, Germán's 6-0 in 7 starts with a 2.06 ERA when he gets 3.5 runs of support.
Yep.
As outstanding, maybe better than Verlander. He's 9-0 in 11 starts with a 5.03 ERA when he gets 6 runs or more.
He's
He's doing the same thing.
He'd probably have 18 wins right now.
He
if
won't even
never got hurt.
He won't even get acknowleded.
And it's
No, he will. He'll
Listen,
finish third. He'll finish third.
The point of my
He's
article
not
is
even in
that
the top 3 voting.
there's too many people who are like he's won 16 out of 20 starts.
I just saw.
It's hard to do.
I just saw on MLB the 3 guys for the AL are Verlander, Cole, and Charlie Morton.
I mean, no.
Let's put it this way, and we
No.
talked about this 3 months ago. If there was no Domingo Germán the first 3 months of the season, where would the Yankees be when he was 9-0?
Let me give you one more. So he's 7-0 in 8 starts since he came off the injury list. Justin Verlander's given up 4 earned runs or more in 6 starts this year.
Giving up the most home runs too.
Domingo Germán's only done it 4 times. He's had 2 really atrocious starts where he gave up 8 and 7 earned runs.
Nobody wants to hear the numbers.
Well, no, here's the thing.
That's the thing. Nobody ever
Each
wants to hear
time,
the true numbers.
Each of those starts, he went from a 2.5 ERA to a 3.5, and then from a 3.5 to a 4.5, and he's been working his way down.
I'm agreeing with you. It's just people don't want to hear stuff like that.
But listen, if you want to get all sabermetrics and you want to get down to the numbers, I mean, the guy's doing what the job is entail. You want to win games.
Yep.
And there's so in 2009, CC Sabathia was 13-0 when the Yankees scored 6 or more runs. That year, the Cy Young Award went to Greinke, who was 16-8 and had unbelievable numbers. CC, when the Yankees scored between 3 and 5 runs, was 5-6. So when games that mattered, CC actually pitched worse.
Yeah.
And point is, Germán's actually pitching better than Verlander is in close games right now for the Yankees.
You
many
should be
starts.
winning the games when your team scores 6 or more.
Yes.
He's 16.
And what your ERA looks like in those games it doesn't matter.
He's
If
16
it's 8-0 and you give up
4
two-run homers at back-to-back innings and you give me 6 or 7,
and you still win 8-4, you're like, hey, you gave up 4 runs.
who cares?
You won the game, and your team won.
Here's the other thing. He's only gone over 100 pitches once this year. He's typically hitting around 90 pitches and getting into the 7th inning. So he's efficient.
If you were to tell me that a possible 19-20 game winner would not even get acknowledged for a Cy Young, damn. That's just
Let me ask you one more thing.
That's a big damn.
Let's say Justin Verlander is the anonymous choice for Cy Young Award. He very well is probably deserving of it at this point. They wouldn't make a movie about it. Am I right?
Yeah. Well,
If Domingo Germán, who basically comes out of nowhere, last year we saw flashes of brilliance mixed with a basket case.
Like a
AJ
Severino.
Burnett.
Like a Severino.
He's very AJ Burnett to me. Electric stuff.
I think he's Severino.
Unbelievable breaking ball, but just.
I think he's
Joe,
Severino.
so I'm not cutting you off, but I'm just reading. I'm reading
I
the
think it's
comments as they're
Severino
flowing.
2.
So your buddy, Riz, man,
What's he say?
all he says is Joe cares about winning and not stats. Well, here's my thing, and I'm going to use a football reference. So the guy throws for 5,000 yards, throws for 35, 40 touchdowns, but his team goes 5-11. Tom Brady throws for 3,500 yards, throws for 22 touchdowns, but his team goes 12-4. Would you rather have the 5,000 yards, or would you rather be 12-4? Now, last year they went with DeGrom because the stats were so overwhelming, more so than a guy who won 20 games.
Right.
Yeah.
But if the wins are close and the numbers are close, then you got a different argument. So, and they were saying, well, the Yankees bullpen. This is my thing. Okay, so Tom Brady plays for the Patriots the last 20 years, and they've won 6 Super Bowls. They're the best team. So is that Brady's fault that he has Bill Belichick? No. So Germán has the best bullpen, and they close out the games 9 out of 10 times. That's not his fault. Listen.
Can you imagine getting penalized for doing your damn job?
Every pitcher.
Right.
Can you imagine that?
If Max Scherzer had a solid bullpen, he'd win 25 games a year. But the Nationals have the worst bullpen the last 2 to 3 years, and they've blown so many starts when he's only given up 2 runs in 8 innings.
He could be like a 25-game winner.
I mean, think about the Mets last year. If DeGrom had any bullpen and think about this. If DeGrom had a team that could give him 6 runs a game, don't you think he would win 20 games? It's not his fault.
Yeah, I know.
Just because the Yankee lineup scores 6 runs with Tauchman and Gio Urshela and
Right,
Tyler
but
Strong and
nobody
Mike
wants
Ford.
to take into account that it's those bums, those underachievers, those career minor leaguers that are literally scoring him 6 runs a game.
And let me speak of those bums, okay?
That's what analytics doesn't take into account is that it's Gio Urshela and Mike Tauchman that are winning all these games for Domingo Germán. Does that change things at all?
And last year, when we had Judge and Stanton and all these big hitters, we were batting .249 as a team. Right now, this team is batting .272 as a team batting average. It's unbelievable. This team is a better, more complete team batting-wise than they ever were last
Clutch
year.
hitting, runners in scoring position, they've been great.
Gio Urshela is made a huge difference compared. And Duhar was great last year. I'm not knocking him. But Gio is batting almost .330. He's been great with runners in scoring position. DJ LeMahieu leading the league in batting average, second base.
DJ.
Everyone's been hitting better. I said something to Trev the other night. I think the Yankees have such a glory problem going forward in the sense of this. I think they should keep Andujar and Estrada because we've seen guys get injured. Look at this season. You got the best of both worlds, and you can DH one or two. Hold on 1 second. Gio play it first. I think Mike Ford will eventually be the first baseman of the future for the Yankees. I like what he brings. He's consistent. He brings contact.
And he can
shows
pitch.
Power.
And he can pitch.
And he can pitch.
He can pitch. I like what he brings
Add
to the
him
game.
to the bullpen,
and
baby.
he'll be the Greg Bird that the Yankees thought they were getting with Greg Bird.
Can we not say that name again? Him or Ellsbury's name ever again?
You know what I mean? I like what Tachman's done. You gotta like everything that the Yankees have seen this year from every player that they've brought up. You haven't seen a slouch or anyone that they've brought up. Even the pitcher. Well, Wise's look good at times. Sessa's look good. I know he's had their moments. We broke Holder's cojones early in the season, but he's looked good. You got to be impressed with everything that the Yankees have put together this season.
Speaking of that offense, and one of the questions, I got two more questions for you, is do you think the Yankees rely too heavily on their offense to win games?
Yes.
Because
that's the biggest weakness for them.
Is that a problem
It's
going
not
forward in October?
in 2019.
But going into
because
the
they're going to
postseason.
use the same baseballs they've been using this year. They're obviously juiced. I mean, just look at the numbers.
Wait, who's batting under 200?
It's out of control.
But when like the Yankees, like last night, you had a rough start. Chad Green gets beat up. That's fine. It happens. But on offense, the Yankees are so used, we got such a great offense. We could be down 7-1. We could come back to win 12-7.
As good as Justin Verlander's been this year, he has been susceptible to the long ball.
Yes.
And the argument, obviously, is that good pitching beats good hitting, except in the year where every mistake's a home run.
7 home runs were hit by
mistake
Cleveland last night.
against the Yankees will be a home run.
You know who's on fire, and this is my final point of baseball. It's crunch time right now. You got teams in contention. Harper's getting hot now. The Phillies, the Mets. But how about Clayton Kershaw? If Clayton Kershaw could stay healthy, and he could be the dominant Clayton Kershaw.
Gio's batting 337.
Who?
Gio's batting
Is he?
337. I'm sorry, Richard proved me wrong. Mike Ford's batting under 200. All right, yeah, but you know what? Average doesn't tell me the whole story.
Very small sample size. I think he's had good at-bats, and I think that's what you're looking for.
And so the other night, 2-out hit, opposite field. Listen, let him play a full season. You're going to see a 25 to 30 home run guy batting 260.
Sure. I mean, look.
And I'm sorry to throw you off, Trevor. I think when
he can
people
go 3 for 3 and 2 for 4 in the next 2 games, and he'll be hitting 300.
I mean,
small sample size.
Because it's just like when Gary Sanchez struggled, right, and he was batting 240. Do we not say he's a bad hitter now? No, I mean, listen.
Some fans might actually say that now.
I mean, listen, I'm not Judge. I still think he's a good hitter. Now, do I think he is what he was 2-3 years ago? Probably not. I think realistically he's a 265 hitter with 35 to 40 home runs and 100 RBIs. But you know what? You going to take him on your team? Absolutely.
What do you think of this upcoming series? Not with the Indians, but with the Dodgers. What are you expecting that for as a possible?
Well, you got the road trip. The West Coast
as
road
a possible World Series preview. We might get a chance to see the A's.
I don't think if the Yankees are still up 10, I think there's less urgency. The Yankees every year.
Joe, they have to win because of the Astros. No, because of the first place.
I understand that.
That's the only reason I'm saying
understand that. My expectation of a late August West Coast trip is 5-6 is about as good as it generally gets.
They struggle in August on their West Coast trips.
Historically speaking, if they go 5-6, I would be happy. If it's a disaster, if they're swept by anybody, little bit concerned, but I mean, it's not only is it a West Coast trip in late August, it's against 2 really, really good teams. And so, yes, I would expect things aren't going to go. But again, if the Yankees go out there and take care of business, people will find a reason why the other team, something went wrong. That seems to be how it goes.
So this is how it's going to go. They finish with Cleveland on Sunday. They'll have Monday the day for travel.
Yep.
They'll have 3 at Oakland. Then they'll have 3 at the Dodgers next weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then they'll have 3 in Seattle. And then they come back home against the A's. And that's when the September stretch hits, and that's when we'll see how they play the rest of the season.
How do you feel about the current state of baseball right now with these teams and crunch time coming down? How do you feel about it? Have you been watching a lot other than the Yankees?
Yeah, and I think it's funny. The other night, after the Yankees eliminated Baltimore from the division with their 17th
they finally
win,
eliminated them?
They literally,
Baltimore was in contention.
Baltimore is actually the first mathematically eliminated team in the division race in baseball.
Wow.
Also, the last since 2015, the first team to 80 has won the World Series every year.
So
the
Dodgers and Yankees.
Yankees were the first team to 80. They did beat the Dodgers by about
what?
2 hours on that. But regardless,
2 hours.
first team to 80. Literally 15, 16, 17. It's happened every year.
They got the same exact record right now, both 81 and 42.
Yeah, I think that baseball's in a good spot right now. I mean, ideally, you want Yankees and Dodgers market 1 and 2. Why wouldn't you?
That'd
that would
awesome.
be.
I'll be working, but
That would be so ideal. But Cleveland getting hot right now. Wouldn't it be cool to see CC and Cleveland? It's been 10 years since the Yankees were in a World Series.
See Cleveland.
The last time the Yankees, by the way, took a beating like they did last night at Yankee Stadium was 10 years ago, April, against the Indians.
Didn't the Red Sox do that in the playoffs last year to the Yankees?
No, not that bad.
19-5 last
Yeah.
year was like 16-1.
18 plus runs and 24 or more hits. The last team to do it was Cleveland. 10 years ago, the last time they won a World Series. There's a lot of indicators, is my point, that the Yankees are going to a World Series this year. All of the historical factors are all indicating just the fact that 12. Hold on.
You'll be Eddie Mush if
12 teams in Yankee history have won 79 of their first 120 games. Okay?
All went to the playoffs. I mean, they all went to the World Series.
All went to the World Series except for one team. 1954 Yankees won 103 games. They came in second to the Cleveland Indians.
Well,
This team is matching every great Yankee team in history based on wins. And again, when you look at what they've gone through and you look at the rotation, and some people think it's garbage, which it's not. But it's definitely the weak link.
It's not stellar.
Inconsistent.
It's not the Mets. It's not the Mets rotation. It's not other rotations.
But it's up and down.
Any other team would have packed it in by now and would be playing 500 baseball and eliminated from the playoffs. What the Yankees have done is amazing. And if that next man up mentality, if you're not buying it, then maybe you're just not watching the game. These guys are in it every night.
I'm just pulling up some things.
They're in it every night. Last night was just they needed a game that just get hammered, I guess.
My thing is this, and just to take off of the Yankees for a second.
Finish it
I
up.
wish I was more interested in baseball in the sense, like, I love baseball, but I love the Yankees. The thing I'm most excited about is looking at the NL wild card. The AL wild card, I think it's really down to the 3 teams.
Most exciting thing
it's
for
really
me
the
is-
Twins and Cleveland, whoever wins that, and then Oakland and Tampa. The Red Sox are not going to make the wild card, so it's going to be Tampa, the winner of the Central, and Oakland. And I realistically think it's probably going to be Cleveland and Oakland. That's what I think is going to be the one-game series. Actually, probably be Minnesota. Cleveland will probably take over because the way they'll play, they'll finish strong. Mm-hmm. But the NL, the Nationals, Cubs, Brewers, Phillies, Mets, and Giants, and Diamondbacks are all within 3.5 games.
I'm excited to see possibly
the Mets. They finished 3-3 on their 6 games against the Nationals and the Braves. I was hoping they could win a couple more considering that streak. They almost blew it last night.
Yeah.
I want to see the Mets make the playoffs, or at least get to that one game. I think that would be awesome because I think whoever they face, they're going to have the best pitcher going in Game 1 for that wild card.
they're going to have the great DeGrom.
Well, they could have Syndergaard too, or Stroman. I'd go DeGrom. You can make it a short game with the starters.
Can I just one more? So in 2010, CeCe wins 21.
Oh boy, there we go.
And they give the award that year to Felix Hernandez, 13-12.
Yes.
The next season, Cy Young Award winner is Justin Verlander,
18 wins,
who's also the American League MVP, because suddenly wins matter. He's 24-5.
That's nice.
CeCe wins 19 games that year as well. All 3 years finished 4th in the Cy Young voting. Tell me there's not a bias against good Yankee teams. Like, good Yankee teams have to be great. It's why people like Riss don't give them the proper respect that they
All-Star
deserve.
game? Like the All-Star game?
Absolutely.
Tell me something different that Mike Trout's going to win another MVP this year.
I mean, again,
he's going to hit 50 home runs.
Most people said who now look back on that era, that Mariano Rivera could have been the MVP every single season of the Yankees dynasty? Could you prove there was a more valuable person to have on your team than that guy to guarantee a victory?
I wouldn't argue.
Ask all the teams.
I wouldn't argue with
ask
it.
Every team. Ask the Mets. Ask the Cubs. Ask the Nationals.
How valuable is that
it is
guy?
to have a guy to close out the game.
Ask the Red Sox how many. I mean, the times
Mike
playing
Trout continuing to put up unbelievable
know what's
numbers
funny?
and not delivering playoff series.
His team sucks.
Needs to be held against him at some point because it would be against anybody on the Yankees or the Red Sox.
Seen Harper lately?
Harper's on a tear right
Harper's
now.
on a tear.
He should be. That's why he makes $30 million a year to go on tears.
I wish Mike Trout never signed that contract. So unfortunate to see.
Because you don't know where you don't see
Seeing guys like him, Nolan Arenado now just being on these teams, Manny Machado, even.
See, it's different
I
in
mean,
baseball than any other sport
these
because
great
in
talents.
football you can be like you can have like a good quarterback on a team and hit on a couple draft picks and just like that you could be a playoff team. In baseball,
it just sucks.
It's so much harder because it's like, all right, where's their farm system? It's not that great.
It's just so where
is the talent going to be?
Well,
coming
sure.
from?
In baseball, how often is it where you've got great young pitching and you just need a power bat or two to blow it up? If that was a thing, I mean, it's not. Pitching is so hard to find. Big hitters want big contracts, and they're going to go where the money is.
Joe, it's just
hitters have always done that.
It's just
in
so
free
unfortunate.
Agent,
You're going to
agent
see.
history.
I mean, Nolan Arenado, one of the best players in the game. Mike Trout, the best player in baseball. Manny Machado, one of the best players.
Yeah, but if you're Colorado, if you're
all these
San
teams that are
Diego,
horrible.
If you're trying to keep your fan base interested in the game and you have nothing to offer up in the way of a star,
if you continue to suck, though, your fans are not going to care about.
Yeah,
the star.
I don't think Trout ever gets to a World Series.
Who knows if he even gets to a playoff series?
That's not happening.
Let's not worry about a World Series or Trout. How about again, getting to the playoffs?
What's the value of an MVP? Is it return on investment? Is it WAR?
Well, if it's
because
stats,
WAR,
the stats,
WAR for DeGrom and WAR for Trout is great. It's super impressive, but you haven't done anything.
But your first thing is return on investment. That would be DJ LeMahieu, considering you only paid $20 million. It'd be like, I paid $10 for a mop, but it works better than
DJ for
the
MVP.
If you were to put a monetary value on what LeMahieu's done
for the Yankees,
yeah, I mean, you're
Why do you think I said he was our MVP?
Your pie charts. I mean,
Mike Trout's going to win MVP, but DJ LeMahieu should definitely.
Because he shouldn't win MVP. And again, it amazes me that sports writers want to be slaves to the numbers. And then again, right?
But it's not like DJ's LeMahieu's numbers are bad. They're just not up to Trout's.
Of course they're not, because they do different jobs, but the result has been different.
Yeah, because when he went to the leadoff position, it changed the Yankees lineup and the team going forward for the rest of the season. It really did. It just everything he has proven, and to be this consistent throughout the season. And I saw someone jokingly, and I don't think it's a joke. You can make the second argument. The second most valuable player in the Yankees is Gio Urshela.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Consistency, batting, power, availability, playing multiple positions. Everything he's done for the Yankees has been great. And considering what they lost, what should have been the Rookie of the Year last year, Miguel Andujar, to come in and do what he's done.
They were 8-10 when they put LeMahieu in the leadoff spot. They're 73-30 since.
Want to talk about
proofs in the pudding?
And considering there's no Stan, no Judge, no Hicks, and Sanchez has been out twice.
Want to talk about availability? That's Joe Aguiar.
43 games over 500 since he took over the leadoff spot.
Sometimes you got to make moves if you want to win a championship. Got to make some moves. If that's at the leadoff, if that's at a leadoff position, anywhere. I tell you, got to make the moves
and you
to
gotta
win.
And you got to like what the Mets did with Stroman to have that line with that pitch and stuff.
Sorry, one last thing. This just occurred to me again. For a team so analytically inclined, looking at those numbers, why is Paxton not getting an opener? Simply because of who he is, or is it insulting if somebody opens for an ace, so to speak? Because it just makes all the sense in the world, and I can't believe that when those numbers are so blatant that they could possibly ignore that.
I love people's comments.
Hey,
the Yankees MVP is their checkbook. Yeah, I know. They have the #1 salary, right?
Who said that?
No one. Doesn't even matter.
Okay.
Obviously, a Red Sox or
yeah,
Met
probably
fan.
Met fan.
Oh, Mets fans.
I can only imagine.
You know exactly who it is.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, here we go.
They don't even have the top 5.
But our bullpen's not good.
Listen,
Your team sucks. Sorry.
But who has the Yankees overspent on in the last? Who they spend on? They traded for Stan. They didn't pay him. The Marlins did.
Right, they're also getting a ton of money from the Marlins to pay him,
10 years,
making him
10 years ago, that's a valid argument right there. What he just said, that's a valid
5 years
comment.
ago, that's
Yeah, even 5 years ago, that's a valid thing. Right now, come on, man. You're
Me-
not watching. You're not watching the right sport. Then you are not watching the same thing as us.
My question
if you
would be,
think
who
the
have
Yankees MVP
overpaid?
is the
Who have the
checkbook.
Yankees overpaid?
I'm sorry, DJ LeMahieu must be an overpay, I guess, right?
So they paid Hicks 7 years, $70 million, so $10 million a year. Okay, so that's not
Yeah.
overpaying. They paid $20 million for LeMahieu.
Fans
Who Judge? You're paying $500,000.
Tanaka is probably the most overpaid guy on the team.
Oh, Ellsbury.
How did you?
Yeah, him.
Shame on you.
But Tanaka's a close second.
Yeah, absolutely. But at the time, it was 4 years ago. And listen, he's been on the roster and he started almost every game.
Yeah, no, that is true. Again, I mean, return on investment, I would say not bad on him either.
You know, it's not bad. The Joe Aguiar story.
It's going to be awesome. You guys are
great.
really going to enjoy it.
I want to get on there.
We had a terrible season, and I don't. Not,
I could tell by your videos.
I don't want
A
to.
quick question.
I would love to-
Do you think they overpaid for Chapman?
No.
No.
No, Chapman is worth every dollar, and I think the Red Sox are proof that paying an elite closer whatever he wants is
You
a
give it to him.
huge difference
You give it
maker.
to
I can't name a better closer this year than him. Yeah, I know he's looked like crap at times, but name me a more consistent, better closer. You can't. Jansen,
There isn't one.
Because Jansen for the Dodgers
He's
they were
terrible.
Was
He's been up and
terrible.
down, too.
Diaz, that you thought the Mets was like, all right, this guy's gonna be lights out. They don't want him even in the ninth at all. Kimbrel's not been good at all for the Cubs. So, listen, I'll take the Yankees team against anyone else every day of the week, and guess what? They're doing it with scraps. Scraps.
So anybody that thinks that the Yankees MVP is a checkbook, you're not watching the same thing as us because the Yankees haven't overspent. If they checkbook, they would have had Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, maybe Nolan Arenado, and Patrick Corbin as well, and then we would have been talking. But we're not. The Yankees are the best team in baseball with a team that has a bunch of blue chip guys and proving people wrong, guys.
All they do is
and
win.
that's what they're doing, and they continue to win. Come on, Met fans.
Herman, less than
Come
$1
on.
million.
Come on, Met fans.
Judge, less than $1 million. Gleyber, less than $1 million.
Met
Gio,
fans,
less than $1 million.
Met fans, relax. They
got Gio for nothing.
Being two games over 500 doesn't make you the right to say anything. So relax, okay? That's why I don't want to win. This is why I don't root for Mets and the Jets. I just don't. I just
Yeah,
don't.
but everyone's got a reason to support their team, and they're going to knock the Yankees because, as Joe said, no, it's not stupid. But Joe said it perfectly. Joe said it perfectly. There's such a hatred toward the Yankees.
Not a valid argument.
There's such a hatred toward the Yankees.
10 years ago, that's a valid argument. Now, no.
They didn't even
That's
pay
it.
much for Paxton.
Right.
Do you have anything else?
I don't. I mean, again, look at the numbers before you start running your mouth.
Exactly.
I just hope. Listen,
Make a valid argument 5-10 years ago. That's fine.
now
Not
the Yankees have
Not
to win the
now.
World Series. We know that they have to win. That's what's being a Yankee fan. We
right.
talk about this every year. They have to win the World Series because anything less is a failure, and that's what me and Trev said. Even though you didn't believe that when we first said it, that's the expectation.
We'll
of
get
being a
into that
Yankee
if it
fan.
does happen.
But this is the year.
It has to be.
This was the year we were told in 2016 that the Yankees were going to be a championship contender. Right on the. I mean, they got there early, but here we are, right on the mark.
And the only
where they
thing
might
that's-
be the best team in
and
baseball.
the only thing that's stopping them from winning him is themselves and injuries. That's it.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, we are signing off. As always, Joe Aguiar, thank you for joining us. Please, if people want to have a nice laugh, if you're having a bad day or a sad day, go check out his YouTube video. It is very clever, funny, and just an excellent job.
Thank you very much.
Just an overall excellent presentation by all you guys.
I definitely saw some holes in that swing. I can strike that out.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. Come on. His pitching, too, is a little vulnerable.
Hit 350 on the year, baby.
We got to get in on there.
You want to?
I want to. I want to be.
Sunday,
Keys to the City?
Could make it happen.
We should make it happen.
Be
Joe,
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
again.
guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week. Everybody, have a wonderful weekend. Clovercrest Media presents Keys to the City. If you didn't get a chance to watch the show, you can check us out on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. You know the whole shindig. We are out.
Yeah. Keys to the city, baby. When you see us, so you know you really viewing greatness in the making. Double up on facts we stating. Podcasting, cruise control, city, state, the nation. So what you saying, what we saying, prime information. Facts, keys to the city, we're unlocking the statements.
Streaming every Friday.